All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Nonsense live stream. Yaga. Let's make sure this is working on my end. See if I pops up here. There we go. There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. Perfect. Welcome. welcome. Episode number 62 of the No Nonsense live stream. Isn't that great? Consistency. And today's topic is integrity. And for me, that's something that I take pretty serious, is integrity. And you don't even have to do a lot to have integrity. All you have to do is be a man of your word, right? I remember, years ago, I was a people pleaser. Like, I wanted to just have people like me. I wanted them to, do my actions based on their approval, right? And I did. I had a lot of acquaintances. People thought I was a swell guy. Like, yeah, that Yaga is a pretty fucking good guy. But it was making me miserable, right? Because I was lying to myself. There were certain things I did that I just didn't want to do. I didn't think, no joy whatsoever. And I had to learn some hard lessons. So today I value my integrity. Like, I say what I say and I do what I do, and my word and my actions go hand in hand pretty well. Now, I don't do this perfectionism thing, because a lot of people, the minute you slip, they like to look at you and be like, you see, he's not a man of integrity. It's like, no, sometimes shit happens. And pretty much everything in this world's out of your control anyway, other than the words that come out of your mouth and the actions that follow those words. So how can you have and develop good integrity for yourself? Just what I said. Do what you say what you do. If you say you're going to be at this event at 1:00, you're there at 1:00, whether you want to be there or not. If you commit to something, it's all about commitments. Here's a good example of real life. This past week, it's Thanksgiving, right? I'm sure everybody had family stuff. I hope everybody had a wonderful time. Oh, God, I'm froggy. So Thanksgiving, right? Everybody's got family. Sometimes you got to do the multiple family thing, right? If you're married or have a significant other, you got to do one family, which is what I had to do. And at first, my family was supposed to have stuff at 1, and then my lady's family were supposed to be at 3. So I go, perfect. Can go to my grandfather's for a couple hours, 1 to 3. We can leave. And then hit her family. Perfect. I can only spend a few hours with my family till I'm like, I'm good. Can't we all, right? But at the very last minute, like the day before Thanksgiving, my lady's family ended up being at 1:00 as well. So I had to make a decision. I already told my family I was going to be there at 1. So I go, I'm sorry, but this was the plan. If you change stuff last minute, I said I was going to be there. I'll show up when I show up. And, it's just, everybody was excited when I finally did get to my lady's house, because they were in the middle of eating, and, like anything, nothing's ever quite on time. But the point I'm trying to make is that I said I was going to be somewhere at 1, and the plan was 3. So I'm not going to alter those plans to accommodate those people because they changed the time from 3 to 1 like that. And they weren't even eating till 3. So, in my mental preparation thing that I had going on here, I was like, well, I'll go that 1. I'll stick with what I said I was going to do, because I already committed to that. If it had been up in the air and there were no set plans on either end, then I could have made a choice on the fly. But I had committed to my families at 1. So I stuck with what I said I was going to do. Okay. Words and actions have to go hand in hand. That is one of the easiest ways to build integrity for yourself. And this is always, it's for yourself. Integrity, people will see it too. And this is across all relationships too. It's not just business or anything like that. In life, in general, if you do this everywhere you go, have your own integrity, no matter what, work, family stuff, friends, just do that. It's one of the easiest ways to build integrity. And people see it too. Like, well, They don't need to question you. And also it builds something that's more valuable than people liking you, which is what I used to do, which is I liked people liking me. It really gives people, they respect you. Even if they don't like what you're doing, right? Even if they don't like the fact that you didn't show up for Thanksgiving, they respect you did what you said. You said you weren't coming. You said you'd be here at 3 and then you didn't. See, it's different when you say you're going to be somewhere and then you don't show up. Like, I'll be there at 3 and you show up at 6. Now you're going against your word. Your words are hollow. Nobody can trust your word. And in this day and age, people are being told, like, oh, that's okay. Just say what you want. And like, no, be honest, right? Oh, there was a car accident. I was late. Fine. If that's honest, then be honest. But you don't need to make up bullshit to cover up the reason why you weren't there. Always be honest. Always. I don't want to go to this. Why? Because I just don't. But don't you want to? No, I don't. How can you get better integrity? Self-awareness. You have to be honest with yourself about these things, like, especially when you're delegating your time throughout the day. Again, holiday and family stuff. Thanksgiving's a prime example. Multiple families. So, there's only so many hours in the day. There's so much food you can stuff in, right? So how do you delegate the time? And especially if it's at, one family or the other. Are you worried about looking at the clock going, oh my God, got to get over there? Is this thing going to wrap up? See, if you're doing that, you're lying to yourself because you didn't want to be there in the first place and you'd rather be somewhere else. And that's okay. What you should have did was just be like, you know what, this year, not going to make it. Going to go over here to the ladies' family, right? Instead of being like that, all right, I made an appearance. Now I'm here to please everybody and go. So you don't have to please people. And the less you please people, to be honest, the more willing you'll be to do those multiple things and not be stressed out or worried about it, because this all comes on you. I value having a clear, serene, calm mind. And I am of no use to people when I get panicky and erratic, right? So I say yes to the things I want to do, no to the things I don't, and it go from there. And this is based on my own self-awareness because I don't lie to myself. If somebody's like, do you want to go to a Bears game? I'll be like, no, thank you. I appreciate the offer, but I don't want to go. But why not? It's a free Bears game. I'm like, hey, what's going on, intermission? It's because I don't like sports and I'm not going to subject myself to the sport. The only sport I would watch would be, like baseball. But I'm being honest with the people. I'm not trying to, and I'm being respectful to their offer and just letting them know, like, I don't want to do this. That's okay. Don't lie to yourself. It's one of the worst things you can do in this world is if you're being dishonest with you, because what will happen is you'll breed resentment. You'll start to say fuck everything, and then you won't be a person of your word, and your actions will speak for themselves. It's about remaining focused in the now, wherever you're at. Okay. Integrity. Build your own integrity. So take responsibility. So even when you fuck up, even if you don't, extremely relatable favorite baseball team. Never had one, but I grew up outside Chicago, and based on the family, I was a Sox fan when everyone else was a Cubs fan. When I was a kid, I was in the Frank Thomas days for like half a minute, and then I grew out of it. But that's also that thing. That's another topic of like false binaries, getting people to, what's your favorite team? Like if you're from Chicago, you think it would be either or, but most people would, they can't fathom why you're a Sox fan over a Cubs fan or vice versa. And then it creates duality and conflict because now you're fighting about who has the better team, right? Those are false binaries, something designed to keep us fighting. When in reality, you should just be like, if you're a sports fan, be like, hey, if a Chicago team wins, there we go. But nope, they break it down to a smaller level since we have two teams. Let that sink into your noodle a little bit, fellas. But, and that's just me being honest right there. See, I don't like sports. So, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, my favorite team, because I don't have one. I never did. And that's just that. And I have no problem saying that because I don't care I don't care. Sometimes you just got to eat the noodle. Sometimes, yeah, whatever that means. Sometimes you just got to eat the noodles, man. If they're placed in front of you, you just got to do it. Sometimes go for that noodle. If you got to bake the noodle, cook the noodle, fry the noodle, do whatever you got to do for that noodle, and you'll be okay. Yeah, sometimes you do just have to eat the noodle. Go with like, so yeah, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, and it's not like never do anything you don't want to do. Like, but I have found the one of the best solutions for that when you're worried about doing something you don't want to do is just go through it, and then you realize it's never as bad as you thought it was because the delusion's playing in your head, and then just be in the now. And when you're in the now, no matter where you're at, holiday event at the family's house, a baseball game, whatever, if you're just in the now, you are wherever you're at. That is it. And you'll be calm, you'll be serene, you'll be focused. Another quality of integrity is, again, being honest, having strong moral values. Now, morality is very subjective. I'm not going to sit here and look down on people who want to go out and do a bunch of fucking crazy shit. But what I will be honest from my own experience is like, you can do that crazy shit, but it just, if you're honest with yourself, it doesn't end well. It always ends with mental anguish, some kind of suffering you put yourself through, somebody being angry at you, somebody disappointed, somebody's feelings hurt. It's never good shit that comes from being indulging in desires and pleasures, Now, that's just me. I've got stories for days. Wholeness of character, that to me is important. Your character is who you are. Your reputation is what is how people see you, And the good thing is, if your character is the same no matter where you go, you'll build a reputation that this person's not fucking around. If other people like to talk shit about you, it's usually because they haven't talked to you and it's hearsay and it's nonsense. And once they sit down with you as an individual and you just tell them some truth and you're honest with them, they see you in a different light. Your perception of how you perceive others' actions is really subjective to you, meaning you can interpret it any way you want. But I look more for like the patterns of people's behaviors once I get to know them. If I can get to know you and I see your patterns based on the history that you said, I can kind of let you know if you're about to fuck up or if it's a good idea, if you should do something. That doesn't mean I know what's best for you. It's just like based on your track record, you have done certain things before. Like to me, it's very obvious if you just talk to somebody. And this is why when people who do what they say what they do, those are the people most people want to gravitate towards. They want to be around honest people. And the thing is about integrity, if you are the one who is honest and the one who's telling the truth and can be reliable, but you surround yourself with dishonest, lack of integrity people, you will have a tarnished reputation because of that, right? Like guilt by association sort of thing. That does exist. I believe that to be true, meaning it doesn't matter how much truth you speak. If you're hanging out with a certain group of people and they're all a bunch of fucking retards, then, people won't care. They're going to think you're retarded too. So you have to kind of pull away from like that herd mentality and do it for an individual basis. Your own personal individual integrity is important. So no matter where you go, you're the same person, right? You say what you do what you say. Those things go hand in hand. I don't like talking about things I'm going to do because I haven't done them yet. I talk about things I've done and I reiterate those things and share them as in stories and conversations and experiences just, for other people, for their benefit. But I've learned hard lessons to not talk about these grandiose fucking goals and ideas that I have. If I'm not willing to do the things that it takes to get there, then I need to let go of those ideas because I have to be honest with myself. Am I really willing to put in the effort every day to get to a certain thing? I spent a couple of years with my ex. We were moving out and buying a place. And I told everybody, we're going to get a place within a month. And a month turned into 3 years. So what did that do? Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me that I was going to do it. I looked like an asshole, and I felt like an asshole because I was super excited. Then it just never went through. So I learned to not talk about stuff unless it's done. Like I want to move. And then once I've moved and it's done, then I can tell people that I moved, right? not like or if I get a new job, right, or a different adventure of ideas, stuff like that. I have learned that until I've done it or am doing it, I don't fucking talk about it, because then if it falls through because a lack of effort on my part, then my words are hollow, right? Oh well, hey, you talk a big game, sir, but you don't walk the walk. All those cliches that you hear, but they're very true. Like, you could talk a giant game, but are you doing what you say you're gonna do? And I'm sure we've been around people that say they're gonna do a lot of things and then they don't, and then you lose respect, right? Respect, trust are more valuable currencies than likes and money. Because if you can get people to trust and respect you, that will take you so much further than somebody going, "Oh my God, he said what he likes the Chicago Cubs. Oh my God, we love this guy." And then if you come back later and be like, "I lied, I never liked Cubs. I fucking hate baseball." Those people are like, "Oh my God, why did you lie to me?" Good points, Yaga. Thanks, Narrow Truth. Thanks, Pat. Good ass information. The information that I give is just I based on my life experience and fucking up and also learning from those mistakes. And I think as the generations have gone on, it's shrinking as far as how long people take to realize their mistakes. Some people it's like 50 years old, you hear that midlife crisis, and then they didn't do. I learned in my fucking 20s. I learned a whole lot of lessons. I learned lessons about what to do, what not to do, people pleasing, women, fucking 20 years of dating. I got women. I understand how they are as beings now, not societal shit, but beings, how they are just different than us. And this information I share is just because like it's important for yourself. And then if you can become a strong individual, when you join a family or a group or a workplace, you'll be an asset, not a hindrance, ascend to this place that you're supposed to be, but also learn to admit, arrogance. See, arrogance is actually, people tell me that sometimes, like, you're an arrogant guy. And that comes from those own people's arrogance because they don't have the capacity to be honest about what they truly want to say, how they feel, and how they think, because they're still worried about what other people think. They don't want other people looking down on them. And granted, I understand that. The only people that it should really matter to an extent about what they think is like family, and people who truly know you and care about you, who have seen you grow throughout your life. Like, I've had the same friends for 25, 30 years. And when we get together, there's a bond of respect there because we have seen each other go through some of the darkest days, some of the brightest days, thick and thin, divorce, deaths, relationships, and grown from that point. So there's an underlying respect of a person that you've seen them go through their fuck ups. And then you see them learn from their mistakes, and then they grow and they change and they kind of adapt, and they don't do that shit anymore. And everybody has to learn these lessons, I feel, on their own, one way or another. And how you learn these lessons is based on making mistakes. Like, it's okay. I used to be so afraid to make a mistake, and because I was a perfectionist, everything had to be perfect. And if it wasn't up to my standards that I thought were standards, because I thought I knew fucking everything, it really became me just destroying my mental state of mind. I was literally going insane trying to make everyone else happy. But at the same time, when I look at my life in hindsight, I was being super honest, but just so direct with it and no filter. And today I don't have a filter when I'm asked, meaning I don't just blast it out to people randomly because I think they need to hear it. But if you ask me a question, be prepared, because I will give you an honest answer and I will tell you the truth, especially if it's about something you're doing. I'll tell you what I feel, think, and have experience with it. Honestly, I'll tell you if I don't think it's a good idea and this and that based on what it is, because People need to be told the truth and not coddled so much and be worried about the fear of their hurt feelings, right? The hurt feelings are what have caused a lot of people to go into despair and just this fucking wave of anxiety and depression that for whatever reason it exists today, even though we have an abundance of everything, right? We've got the most money, the most stuff, the most interesting technology that we've ever had in our known history, and yet we're fucking depressed and miserable. Why? Well, it has a lot to do with selfish self-centeredness. I have found that the best solution to that is to be in the service of other people. See how they're doing. What's going on in your life? How can I help you, not you help me? Right? That's how I battle depression and anxiety. And I do that, and it keeps my integrity intact. Again, words and actions. These are the solutions to have good integrity for yourself. Say what you do what you say. It's that simple. But don't kick yourself in the, you have to practice this. This isn't like, the first time you didn't do it, it's over. No, you have to continue to get better at it. You can't just fucking, for God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power and of love and self-discipline. Yeah. Love is the key. You have to love, because a lot of other decisions are going to come from the other place, which is fear. See, fear is how you can control the herd, the majority of the population, get them scared about something. I was talking to somebody, a group of friends today about this, about how, they're saying, did you see how if the new smart TVs, they can hack in and listen to you? And it's like, oh yeah, they're always going to have some kind of thing to scare you. Like, go ahead, listen. I don't care. Like, and who's really watching that stuff? Nobody. It's fear. Did you see about the tomatoes that they recalled? There's tomatoes. And you're like, stop, who cares? Discipline. Yeah, it takes, and discipline is key. But there are things that I've seen people, but discipline in a way too, I've found for some can also be an escape from reality. And I have friends who know this, who are rigid with their discipline, but also keeps them from growing to the next level of their growth in life. But that's for another day. But discipline is key. And if you're undisciplined, how do you become disciplined? Practice. All right. Just like here, basic practice, your word, your actions. I will be here at 2:00, no matter what. You showed up at 2. Good. You have something that is now, something that, you can show for that. All right. I said I would show up to your kid's birthday party. Here I am. No matter what, even if you don't even if you don't want to go, then this is a question you need to be honest with yourself. Like, what are your reasons for not going? Are you being selfish, self-centered? Are you just making it about you? But if you get outside there and make it about other people, the people that are there and this and that kind of stuff, once you're there and you actually apply that, you'll find that it's not so bad. Everything's kind of neat. Then you'll actually be grateful that you went. Then you'll have a story to tell about how wonderful it was to hang out with everybody and visit and talk and everything, right? But yeah, discipline. It takes time. And for me, what I learned in my life was like 5 years ago, I had to detach myself from people in my life that I love very dearly. But at the time when I was trying to learn these methods and practice these principles in my life, I had to just step back for a while and detach with love. And that's one of the biggest keys that I've found. But I'll finish listening after work. Peace. See you, Narrow Truth. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate the people coming in and actually commenting and sharing in on this discussion, because that's what this is about. Sometimes I just talk to myself, and that's okay. You're your own best friend. It's good to talk to yourself. It's not crazy. Nobody knows what's going on between your ears but you, and you should really figure that out, because the more you become self-aware of this stuff, the better person you are, an all-around human being, honestly. And I've been on all sides of the fence, man. I've been on the indulgent side of ego-driven stuff, about when I was in a band, to sleeping with multiple women to fucking wanting to be married but not wanting to be married. Now, I've had all kinds of different thoughts and beliefs go throughout my life in the last decade and a half, and I can tell you that if you just speak honestly, it leads you to truth. What the truth is really a matter of just the truth is always truth. Just being honest. Honesty, I can't express it enough. So, how else can you develop integrity? Be assertive with how you are. Like, if somebody's like trying to force you into something, doing that, just be like, no. But you should do this because you do this. No, you're not going to tell me what I think or feel or should do. I'm going to tell you, no, thank you. And you have to. There are people out there who do have integrity, who speak truthfully and honestly. And even if you don't like them, I respect people's honesty. I can take somebody be like, I don't like you, Matt. I don't like anything you fucking say. I'll be like, all right, that's honest. We could start there. At least we could start from a point of honesty. But if we start from a point of lie, where it's like, oh my God, you're so wonderful. And then those people are like, I fucking hate that guy, about the gossiping behind the back kind of thing. That's another thing to not do if you want to build integrity. Don't talk shit about people. Right? It's too easy to point out the things that people are doing wrong. Try pointing out what people are doing well, right? What they're doing right in life. I could sit here all fucking day and nitpick and be like, duh, 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 and that's easy. But what are the people especially the people in your life, family, close friends, what are they doing well, right? If you focus on what they're doing well, you'll see that like the whole person, not just, oh, there's fucking Aunt Sally fucking bitching about the turkey being dry. And we all got that. I've got, my family, I love them to death. God bless them. But they were fucking, it can only take, the older I get, only so much time can I spend with them. And, until my mind gets crazy. But that's what I do. I'm honest about that. And it's like, you can be around this energy of people that are dishonest, and it causes you to be dishonest. You can be around this energy of people that are just gossiping nonstop, and you can partake in the gossip, but you have to be self-aware enough and strong enough in your own stance and principles and sit there and go, you know what? No, we need to not talk about so-and-so. Let's continue at the task at hand here. And that, people may not like that, but they respect you. You literally, underlying, they will not fuck with you ever. This is also good if you don't want people fucking with you and using you as a doormat and taking advantage of you. This is a good way to do that. Have confidence in your words. Don't be arrogant. Confidence and arrogance are starting to be just, people are not seeing the difference. And I'm going to tell you the difference. Arrogance is people who speak with their words but have no action to back it up. They're full of shit. Okay. They talk a big game, but they don't walk shit. Confident people, when they do speak, they talk about their experiences, things they've done in order to relay information and help people along the way. And they don't gloat. Okay. They're not like, you know what? But if somebody who's arrogant and you're a confident person is being arrogant, I think it's okay to call that person out on their bullshit and just be like, hey, what's that? What'd you do? Oh, that's right. You didn't do shit. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. I like doing that. Because there's too much bullshit and nonsense in this world that you need to call it out when people are being nonsense. And whether it's in public or in your own life, you're in your family, friends, relationship, whatever. If somebody's being ridiculous, call them out. But make sure it's true and it's honest. That's all. Don't make up some bullshit because you think that. Like, they're just being there. It's okay to bring people back down to earth. But if somebody's going and they're just amazing at what they do, then leave them be. That's what they do. They've developed a discipline that you don't have. And if you're honest with yourself, you're jealous of that discipline. You're envious of them. You want what they have, but you're not willing to do what it takes. You're not even willing to try. See, that's when the self-awareness stuff comes in. Build your own integrity, right? I value integrity today. I say what I do what I say, and I'm always honest with people. I don't want to lie. Not even white lies anymore. Like, I just don't. Like, why? Well, I'm just going to be honest about it. That's why, when people, I'm very reserved around people when I first meet them. I had on Thanksgiving, I had my lady's brother's in-laws mom ask me, like, so where's your faith at? And I'm like, egotistical, self-centered me would have been like, this fucking lady asking me about my faith. But I took a minute, I pondered it, and I gave her an honest answer. I go, I don't know. I've always known that there's something out there, call it whatever. Some people want to call it God and energy, this and that. I don't know. I stopped trying to figure it out and I just let things be. But I do know that there are certain energies and things in this world, and stuff happens way too often that's no coincidence, that I can't explain, that I just accept it for what it is. And I go, it's not me doing it. And I'm cool with that. But is it a neat thing, like in a book that I have to adhere to, like a perfect? No, I don't think so. That's why I never liked church. I should do a whole stream just on that, church, and my whole experience with that. But my 4 principles of life that I've adhered to that have helped me build integrity for myself, I'll give you them. Honesty and truth, which if you're being honest, you're seeking truth. Loyalty and faithfulness. That's it. I'm loyal to people that are honest. If you're dishonest with me, you're gone. That's how I am. People don't like, but the feelings and the commit. No. There is no reason to be dishonest, especially like when it comes to like relationships. Like, you need, just be honest. You hear this shit all the time when people have been married 40, 50 years. Communication, honesty. These are not things to take lightly. These are truths that hold up because it's the truth. You can't, it's not an argument. It's not something you can, well, maybe. No. Honesty. Always. But if you have to be dishonest and you're with somebody who's dishonest, then you have to ask yourself, were you being honest at things? Always turn this on yourself. One of the greatest tools I've ever found in my life is I always bring it back into Matt's world. All right. Have I thought this? Have I said that? Have I done it? Then I can't look at these people from a moral high ground at all. I've been there. I've done that. I've been this way. So I can't sit here and be like, you shouldn't. No. See, that's why religion always pissed me off, because they were always like, you shouldn't do this. But at the same time, they're behind the scenes doing all that stuff, right? Behind the doors. Yeah. You can't. No. Just be honest about it. I find it, those rules and codes are more trying to control you than if you have a set of principles. Principles are more liberal, but yet if you adhere to them, you're okay. Honesty and truth, faithfulness, loyalty. That's what I do. Those are my principles that I live by. By doing that, I've created integrity for myself. People see it. Not everybody likes it. Not everybody agrees with it, but they respect it. They know I'm a man of my word. They know I'm reliable, that if you can call upon me for something, I'll be there. But also, don't ask him his honest opinion, because you're going to get an honest answer. And a lot of people don't like honest answers, truth. All right. Have a good one, Intermission. Thank you for always watching. Take care and enjoy your studies. Keep learning. Keep that mind open. Always keep the mind open. There's so much to learn and so much to grow. And if you have an honesty, an open mind, and a willingness to do stuff, sky's the limit. You can do anything. You can. You'll learn a skill. You'll be fine. You'll be calm, serene. And wholeness of character will come of it. That's what I do for integrity, because my character is intact. I used to think I had character, but no, I was very much just an aggressive, which, there's these times of life that I reflect on that I go, these lessons and things. It's a time to be assertive, but then there's a time to just step back too. And I've really learned when to apply stuff. I don't always need to have the sword out, just swinging away, but there are times that I've also learned that to sit back and just be passive doesn't work very well that often either, you know. Honesty and truth have really helped me weed out those emotions from reality. Get emotional when I need to, feel what I feel, and move on. But stay calm, logical, and adhere actions to words. Those are the best solutions that I have found in my experience. And I've gained the respect of my family back, the love of my family, friends. Some friends are gone, and they want to be those people that are, you know, the dishonest lies and just back there, and that's okay. I just don't want to be around it. I choose not to be around it anymore. I am not that person. Can I be that person? Can I fall short? Can I dabble into that? Absolutely. I just don't want to be. And I work and I practice really hard every day to get away from that. You can too. The first 30 years of my life, I behaved, I acted it, I knew certain things because that's how I was brought up. That's what I knew. And it's only been in the last 5 years that I have learned new methods, new things, different uh, tools that I've brought out that have helped me shape my perception of reality, which see things for what they are, not what I think they are. You know, you can't control others. You can control who you are associated with. So if people are being dishonest and you're feeling it, like you feel like when there's people I know that are just like I'm around them and I just feel the dishonesty. Like it twists me in my, like there's this twist in my chest where it's just like, oh my God, I can't do that anymore. And I know, and I'm like, I can't be that. I don't want that feeling. I don't like it. So I have to be honest about that and tell people, you know, I just don't want that. Oh, thank you. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't want any part of it. And you will really have a life that's full of relationships that are so much more, I wouldn't say beneficial, but meaningful, valuable, quality relationships, not that surface area shit. Like, I got you want to get some coffee and just talk about people? No, I'm talking about real in-depth conversations where you get to actually experience another person's life with them and hear about it, and it's wonderful. That's fucking awesome. Words and actions, you know, in conclusion, say what you're going to do what you're going to say. What? No. Say what you say, do what you do. Make sure they go hand in hand as much as possible. As much as possible. If you think you can't do something, don't say you're going to do it. Just be like, you know, I don't know right now. Well, I'll have to get back to you on that. And that's okay. It's an honest answer, right? Matt, are you going to be able to build this fucking table by the end of the day? Yeah, you want to say yes to people, please people, but just be honest with yourself. Think about the time. Take a minute to ponder an honest answer. It's okay. People will respect that, even though we live in this, come on, right now, I need to know today kind of mentality. Same day delivery. No, you slow the situation down. You have that ability. You can tell people, be like, look, hey, I know what you want to do. You know what you're asking me to do. It's not going to happen. This is, you know, honesty, 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 honesty. I can't stress that enough. Just always be honest about it. Become self-aware of your own bullshit. Are you being honest? Are you telling the truth? It doesn't matter if other people are. Are you living that shit? Because the more you do, the more you'll be able to see nonsense around you and be able to detect it and just and get away from it. Honestly. That's one of the beauties about this. This is why I share this stuff with people, because I honestly hope it helps them with their struggles in life, whatever it is that's going on between their ears, because it's helped me. And this information is important because there's too much bullshit out there that tells you this is how you should be to get happy. And no. Because I went down that road, and you know where it led me to? Hell. It led me to literal hell. And I climbed out of that fucking pit, and you bet your ass I'm not climbing back in willingly. So take responsibility even when you fuck up. You know, if you fucked up at work, don't be like, oh, what? Just be like, that was me. And you know, it's hard. It's embarrassing. I get that. And I'm the same way. And I'm not fucking perfect at this shit either, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I used to be. You know, I don't mind if I fuck up. Nah, I did it. You know, I was the guy. I left it that way. I'm a dick. I'm an asshole. I get it. It is what it is. So I don't know what you want me to do. But you take responsibility for your words and actions, okay? I say what I say, and everything I say is honest. I no longer say things to make people hear what they want to hear in order to be like, that's what I wanted to hear. It's like people will hear what they want to hear and they'll figure it out. They'll go to where they want to hear what they want to hear instead of hearing truth. Truth is always truth. This is why, you know, for years, I always heard that in a relationship, you need to have communication. You can't stop on that. You can't just communicate one day and then 2 weeks go by and not say anything. It's daily. Everything in your life is a daily thing, a daily practice. I'm going to be there at 1 o'clock. Show up at 1 o'clock. I said I would walk the dogs. I will walk the dogs. I said I will get bread. I will get the bread from the store. You know, these little things, as dumb as they are, consistency with your words and actions. Consistency is a key. You have to be consistent. And even after you've been consistent for a while, guess what? You need to keep being more consistent. It never ends. You keep going. But by the time you get in a groove after doing this stuff for a few years, dude, it's just a way of life. It's no longer hard. It's only hard because you think you can't do it and you're not willing to do it because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're not being honest with yourself about it. Why? Because I was a lazy piece of shit once, you know? I was like, oh, this is stupid. I don't want to read this book. Oh. But it's true. You have to develop your own principles and moral compass that you don't waver from. So the easiest one to not waver from is honesty. Because if you're just honest all the time, and people hate it. Man, I've had people tell me, you can't be honest all the time. I'm like, yeah, you can. And you trying to justify not being honest all the time is you trying to say it's okay to lie. No, it isn't. And I know we're being lied to all the time, and that's okay, but I'm not lying. So that's how I know everything's great. Because then I don't get to live in the fear bubble, like where everything else is just being like, did you see that the new smart TVs are listening? I'm like, I don't care. Let them listen. Maybe they'll pick up some good truth and some information that might help somebody. I don't care, you know? So, well, what are you talking about? What are you scared of? You're going to get scared that they might flip you on as you're getting nailed on the couch by your husband? Or maybe you're getting nailed by somebody that's not your husband? Be honest, man, you know, be faithful if you're in a relationship. It's really hard to be in this day and age to be monogamous. And there's different cultures too that, you know, polygamy is great. I don't know. I don't think so. I like being with a person. Why would you need what more can you get from other people? I don't know. That's a topic for another day, of course. So if you want to have a wholeness of character, be honest with your moral compass, build some integrity for yourself. The easiest way is say what you say, is saying and doing the things consistently. That's the easiest way to start that. Also, be honest with yourself and others. Even if the reason's harsh. I don't want to go to Thanksgiving because I hate Aunt Sally. Aunt Sally's such a bitch to me all the time. Great. At least that's honest. You know, that's a reason than just like making up some bullshit on the fly. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he was in Florida at his house, and the neighbor invited him to Thanksgiving. And the neighbor's family, the day of Thanksgiving, for whatever reason, decided to cancel. And this poor guy who had spent the day making all this food, it was just him, his wife, my friend, and his wife. And that was it. There were supposed to be like 16, 20 people coming. And the day of Thanksgiving, they canceled on this guy. And he had spent all this time doing food. Now, I took this a bunch of different ways. I took this on the surface level of like, well, that seems that sucks to cancel it on that, this guy made that. But I'm like, on the other hand, maybe he's a dick. Maybe nobody wants to be honest and be around that guy. Maybe those 16 people said yes to something they didn't want to say yes to. And then the last minute finally became selfish, self-centered, and honest with themselves, going, I don't want to go to your fucking house. And then they did, even though it's a kind of a dickhead way when you committed to something prior to that, right? Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there. I just I like dissecting things like that and kind of like digging deeper because there's a reason behind it. There's always a reason behind something, and it's deeper meaning than most people want to let on. Most of those people, maybe the guy's a dick, and they just didn't want to be around him on the holiday, and they're like, "Fuck him." Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. It's an outside interpretation, so I can just have fun with it, and I think it's kind of fun. But if the guy's being honest with himself, if I was him, I would ask myself, what am I doing wrong that nobody showed up? Because it's understandable when it's like 1 or 2 people didn't come, but everybody? Ask yourself what's going on with you, sir. And maybe you'll get to some solutions and figure that out for yourself. So, maybe your integrity is not intact. I don't know. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you can and stay notified. Hit that little bell. You'll know when I'm going live. And if you like what you hear, leave me some comments. Give me a topic to talk about because sometimes, I don't know what I'm going to talk about until like the day of. That's really how I roll. But I felt, yesterday I was reading something or watching something about integrity, and it made me think. I'm like, I haven't thought or talked about integrity in a while, and it's important. It really is, especially for men. Ladies, I don't know, but men, integrity is important. I don't know if women can really adhere to what they say and do as much as men can. Men it's a better discipline for them. But men, you're supposed to lead the women into that. So if you're a good person with integrity in that, the woman you're with, she'll be in your corner and she'll follow you. She'll be in your corner, support you when she needs to. If you're doing that. If you're not, then there's other issues at hand, huh, Phil? Okay. Thank you all for watching and being a part of this. I do appreciate it. I will see you all next week. Don't take yourself too seriously.